Welcome back to Dance's End. This is session 31, entitled Stolen Seed. And in our beat, as we discussed what happened last time, that title will make sense. The group was invited to a dinner party at the palace. This is supposed to be addressing the matter of Ainkarad, but it appears that the Council of Lords of the town of Cardend have also assembled here in bringing to the council rather a new member, Sneeb Floopster, the honey curator and mead maker of Cardend, a force of charisma within the town, and definitely a face that's drawing a lot of attention to the town's reputation. The conversation broke out regarding the first subject matter, and someone was accused of having something that they had taken from Ainkarad Southern Tree. They did not try to hide the fact that they had that on them. It was the heart seed of the dryad tree, or rather the great tree. And when Termaine and Ronnie went to give it to the king, who asked for it so that he could hold on to it as mediator in this apparent dispute regarding who is entitled to it, a squirrel jumped in through the window, grabbed the seed, jumped right the fuck back out super fast, and is already in the blink of an eye within the forest. Before you tell me what you're doing in the immediate reaction and response to that, I will tell you what's going on around you, and you can kind of fill in your details within the scene. The king, mouth agape, looks to the window and yells, "Find him!" The knights outside rush out of the courtyard and seem to be moving to a way to get out to the forest side through a different door, not through the window. This knight here on the southern side is moving up past everybody to the window. He places his hands on the windowsill and kind of his eyes roll into the back of his head as he does so. The king is seemingly protected a bit more by Seth, who stood up and is now standing near the window. But other than that, everyone else kind of just stays in their seats. Some people kind of take a small half stand, but like it's a gasps all around the table. Okay, starting with, let's go, Soul. What are you doing in the immediate aftermath of the event?
Who who had eyes rolling into the back of their head? Sorry, I didn't catch which.
Is everybody roboting? Is it just me?
Hello? Hello?
Robot?
Oh,
You're
okay.
fine. You're fine.
Hold on, I'm getting a lot of robot time.
Jesus. No, I don't think so. It's Packley.
Everyone's fine for me.
It's on my side.
Yeah.
It's on my side. Okay, try again now.
Oh.
Okay, we seem to be fine. That was really weird. Okay, so then
I
go ahead.
will be watching Maladin because I do not like or trust them at this point. I want to see what they are doing in this chaos, see if they had anything to do with it happening, or
Go ahead and give me an insight roll, and then we'll discuss. Then next up would be Sapakli. What is Arya doing in the immediate aftermath of the event?
Arya is going to whisper to Rani, Rani,
Oh, I'm over here.
oh fuck. Can I
Yeah.
move to Rani?
So you get up and move to Ronnie. Okay. So before you arrive there, brother, sister, go ahead and tell me which one to do. I don't care which one of you says first.
Jermaine, so the squirrel jumped in out of this window?
Landed on the table, grabbed the seed as you were
Yep.
crossing, or putting your hand over the table, grabbed the seed, and then in the same kind of jump, very fast.
Yeah. Got it.
Movement.
So he would turn to Ronnie, he would grab her tunic, I guess, and pull it, and then he would jump out the window. So come on.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, she was ready to climb over that table.
Okay. You hop into the
And
forest.
well, so then I would want to call my my steed, my mystical steed, and pull Rani up on top and start heading that
Okay.
towards the way we think it's going.
Whoa! Wait,
What
a
you'll
lot
notice
happened.
immediately is the second that you try to cast a spell that summons something, the spell fizzles in its.
Wait. So I thought all I had to do was time to move to Ronnie.
Yeah, so you didn't have that time because of what they said. So you would have had that time if they said they were going to do something different, but they very much were the ones that I was waiting for to see what their response was to the situation. And it's
Okay.
rush out the window. So you see them jump over the table very quickly, jumping out the window. The Hawkman comes up behind that as you kind of make the table, staring off after them. And you'd watch, and 30 feet out the window, Termaine try to cast the steed spell, and nothing happens.
Could I try and track the squirrel?
Go ahead and make a survival or perception roll, your choice.
Go.
I will do a survival. 19.
Nice.
You do
Not the
not see
best,
any
but-
tracks whatsoever that would disassociate the squirrel you're chasing and every other squirrel that appears to be present in this neighborhood.
No, that's fair.
Yeah, there are either 1,000 of the squirrel you're looking for, or this place is just super populated with squirrels.
Mm. Just like my deck. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Termaine, as you're casting the spell and fizzling, you kind of lose sight of the creature. You didn't really have much of a sight on it once you jumped out the window. It seemed to be moving very fast, as if it were under the effects of like a haste spell. And Ronnie, as you're kind of looking around, when Termaine does cast that spell, you see kind of this waver of green kind of flicker around you and him, and then kind of dissipate. This is very similar to magic in the Feywild that bars creatures entering into them. Enclaves typically try to find these places so they can't be assailed by supernatural tricksters like sprites, fairies, even Fomorians can just kind of blink into existence where they want from the Feywild into the material world and vice versa. So they typically try and bar those with Fey wards.
Are you saying, John, that this effect came from inside the castle or
The
from the
entirety of
outside?
the entirety of the forest.
Okay.
Yeah, is Fey warded. You cannot bamf from
Fey
here to the
warded.
Feywild, nor can you vice versa. And also, creatures that would be summoned here, period, are blocked from doing so.
Okay.
Mm.
And as it is an inhibition that's countering the spell in effect, if a spell slot was used to do that, or a use per day was used to do that, Andy, I apologize. Your use for it is expended.
That's fine.
You continue on out into the forest. Are you going to do your best to try and find them?
No, so if
find it.
I see that the spell has fizzled, I would stand in place kind of with Ronnie and look back inside so that the other party members might potentially join or figure out what to do next.
Arya, do you try to move around the table?
Yeah.
The man who was standing next to the king kind of points at you and says, "Stay back," and kind of like moves a little bit towards you to kind of interpose himself there. The knight who's taken his place at the window has his hands on the windowsill and his eyes have kind of rolled into the back of his head. And in your kind of just face, or your kind of a witchy sight, you can kind of see like a glow to his helmet that's kind of making it's almost like a magic pattern of an eagle on the helmet. Ronnie and Termaine, as you're kind of out in the forest, you stop for a second. You're kind of not sure what to do, where to go. A shadow would appear overhead of you, kind of moving across the tops of the trees, and you'd look up and you'd see what's a majestic, giant golden eagle, kind of swarming across the forest.
Mm.
Eric.
Probably from that guy.
Eric Freeman also goes by the name the Eagle Knight, and yeah, his mount is a giant golden eagle.
Oh man.
Fuck, man.
Eagle man. I know hawks and eagles are, legally the same, but different. Same.
I didn't know that.
I think so. Let me double check. Are eagles hawks?
They are both birds of prey.
They're
They're different.
Asceptitridaes. They are technically different, but inside the same caste.
Yeah, because they're birds of prey.
Yep. Buzzards are also in the same.
They got that hooked beak.
Yeah. Kites, harriers, buzzards.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay.
Bird knowledge is important. You should know that as a Brennan Lee Mulligan fan.
Bird law, especially.
Bird law
God
is very
damn it.
important. God damn it. Always sunny in Carden.
So about that dickhead Maludin.
Right. So Arya kind of holds back and doesn't kind of advance. The siblings are outside. You're kind of watching the situation. Everybody kind of gasps and is alerted by the effect. You can see him kind of lean towards his compatriot, who stands up more fully and kind of backs away from the group. And it seems like the best way to kind of describe her posturing, obviously not the same thing, but it almost looks like, just from a narrative beat, don't take this as the meaning. It just looks like this. I'm trying to describe it easily, and I'm failing at that right now. It looks like she's taking a phone call, right? Like she's kind of moving away and kind of keeping to herself a bit, and kind of not touching her face or anything. It just seems like she's. Never mind. You get what I'm saying, right? Oh my gosh. She
You
gets
forgot your
Instagram back,
sending stone.
and she just starts throwing her phone around on the floor.
Yeah, I'm so
So, take that as you will. You run over and kill them both?
I am still watching
Okay.
him specifically.
Yeah, he kind of turns to the situation, watches the accosting of Arya, yeah. The elves, as you stand there kind of watching, you would hear kind of a strange pulse well over in the western direction from where you're at, but no visual. You don't see anything. It's just kind of like a sound, like a bass beat from a rave, but just
Head in that
swamp.
direction if
Okay.
I can track it.
Yep. So as you're kind of making your way that way, you would see above that the bird up ahead has started circling and then descends about where you're going. It would land, and when it does so, it immediately presses its talon down into the dirt and draws on it, and then steps back and bows very cordially. You kind of get within distance of it. Just as it finishes this little ritual, you'd see a pulse of magic appear where it drew the circle, and a woman appear in that space, kind of standing before you. The woman in question
Oh.
has green hair. It's the very first thing that you would notice about her. Tremaine, you recognize her as being the wife of the king. And
Shit.
she is a very, as far as you understand reputation-wise, she is a very well-trained mage.
Does that just mean queen, or is she not queen?
She's queen, but
Oh.
again,
But
And
also
queen.
queen.
so we'll deal with the monarchy situation and the specific titles a bit more as they come up. Yes, it would be okay for you to call her a queen, but by all rights and purposes, she is not. She's not titled that way.
So she's like a Prince Charles.
Cringe.
Or not Prince Charles,
Prince
sorry.
Charles' woman.
Philip. Philip.
No, wasn't his wife not queen? She wasn't even.
Yeah. But that
Yeah.
was also the same for Philip whenever who was married to Queen
Right.
Elizabeth.
Right. So Philip was the not prince. or not king, because
Not
was married
king.
to
He
the
was
king.
labeled a. I think he was
Consort?
labeled,
Consort.
yeah, consort.
She is the king's
That's-
consort.
Oh, she's a consort. Okay, that's different. Yes, of course.
But she's also a little queen.
Can I take a beat and be like, can I jump out the window and join my people?
The king would kind of look to everyone, and he's kind of seated, like kind of leaning up a bit, and he'd look to Seth and say, "No, it's fine. I believe my wife is on the matter. Your friends will be pulled back inside shortly, and we will reconvene the dinner. My knights are also upon it. If Seth says, if you press, I will allow you to pass, if it is something you wish to do. But we would rather maintain pleasantries here despite what has happened."
Okay. I don't want to cause trouble.
Will Maladin kind of steps up and Maladin steps up and says, "Will my attendant be allowed to jump out the window in bravado to perhaps continue the ruse of making me believe that this wasn't planned already from the onset?"
Pardon me.
Why would they
Um,
need to do that when they're probably delivering it to the cults you left in the center of Einkarad?
I have no connections with Lishamora.
For the record, Arya is throwing like a really ugly look.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
do?
For sure. And he says this name, Sol, and you're kind of like, wait, what? And it's strange. Like, it's the first time you've heard this name, and I'll say it again, Leshimora. It's strange that, like, this name doesn't mean anything to you, but at the same time, you're already able to connect that must be the name of the squirrel.
I think we did hear that once before.
I've never said it before.
You did.
Yeah.
I have it written down.
What?
Impossible.
Shazad?
Huh?
Yeah, I think when we met the guy in the hall afterwards, I think he might have said it.
The Rambler.
Yeah.
Sharad.
Sharad was
Yeah.
what he called the squirrel.
Quran, the
Yes.
squirrel people.
I wrote that down years ago.
Years.
Yeah, squirrel
weeks
folk,
ago.
western tree, but not Lishimora.
Right.
Oh, the Shamora. Sorry, my bad.
I was like, I do not have that in my notes.
It seems that
Therefore, it
I
does
thought
not
it-
exist.
this
I thought it
guy-
was Sharad. My bad.
It seems
No.
like this guy is referring to that squirrel as Leshimora and saying, "I have no connections with Leshimora." That's what your presumption would be.
Leshimora.
But again,
Except that you know their name.
right. Sharad.
It's such a cute name. Lechimora?
Leshi. Leshimora.
I spelled it right this time.
I love that name. And I'm sorry, did they also say Sharad or no?
No, they have not said Sharad at all.
Okay,
No.
got it. Thank you.
So it kind of hangs on the air, the name Leshimora.
That's the squirrel?
I've made
Arya
my
will say out loud.
I'm sorry? The squirrel? And the only person laughing in the room is him. And it's really awkward. But he lets it go for about like 10 seconds unless you stop him. He just laughs. And it seems like he's laughing in your face.
Like,
Arya-
tackle.
Wait. Arya is making eye contact with other people in this space as the laugh is going to be like, that's weird.
Yeah, everyone's kind of giving
No, that's not normal.
everyone's kind of giving looks, and the kind of just weird atmosphere kind of lingers for a bit, but then he kind of stops laughing and says, no, it's not a squirrel, foolish child. Of course not. It is a fey spirit. Squirrel. Speak of it so lowly,
Earl.
like it doesn't even matter.
well, I don't know about its station or its place in the hierarchy of the Fae. The only thing that I remember is that it seemed to have committed a cruel and unforgivable act against a dryad.
Such is the nature of the Sherrod.
Okay.
It is their right to climb the great trees from root to tip and do with it as they wish,
Necromancy?
if it is their wish and their skill allows for it.
Arya's looking around, like this is what we're agreeing to.
And what
Everyone's cool with this.
What you realize is that the only people who seem to take any offense but then realize that it's not a big deal are a couple of the council members, but all the else are just chill with it.
God damn it. You know what?
You play Magic
I
the
picked
Gathering.
one.
Elphys Golgari, bro.
I know, but I pick one character that's. I mean, okay. You know, I choose not to be a necromancer one time,
and then
suddenly necromancy is cool.
That
Fine.
is thrown in your face.
Now, if you
Oh, wait, that's not
if
the
you
right one.
recall, Malika did get a lot of boons and benefits in the city of Nox, so I will say it's not the first time. Anyway,
Fine.
they would be like the elves would kind of be like, yeah, the drow elf would stand up and kind of move to kind of confront Maladine and say, even still, to take the seed or control the seed is not a part of that. If Leshimura, as you call him, did not want the tree to have a spirit, then the seed should have been cast away so that it could grow again. A smaller tree, a regular oak. Maladine says, it's not my issue. I am not the one who did it. I do not have rights or contracts with them, the Sherrod. What are your dealings with them? Maladine would say as he kind of turns and kind of walks around the drow elf, kind of looking to Arya with like a bit of anger in his eyes. Hag touched, he would say very loudly, and you'd hear gasps from people inside of the space. Uno reverse card on the table.
Rip the scarf off. Push his head off of his severed neck.
He's a headless.
Uno reverse card. You're like, a necromancer? And he's like, witch? And everyone was like, witches are bad. And she's like, God damn it.
It's like necromancy. That's fine. It's part of our rules.
Witches?
Oh God.
Only a couple people.
Wait. This is wait. This is actually victim blaming.
Right. It's actually anti-witch bigotry is what I believe the usual term is.
Oh no. Anti-witch bigotry. So Arya will be nonplussed and she'll be like, okay, look, I'm used to anti-witch bigotry. Okay, this entire world is predicated upon it. The forces that shaped this world are bigots against people like me. But I didn't choose this, and I really didn't have any choice to be a hag. Hutched. It was this or death.
And
So
as you're kind of looking about, you would see that a couple of the council members are like, again, the same people who are probably like about the necromancer thing. The king doesn't seem to care. Like he's watching the whole thing play out, but like the accusation hag touched, like it was almost like he was kind of yelling it to the king, and the king's just kind of also not really concerned. Outside, the Big Bird lands, draws a circle, a woman appears. And from that, you would see that she very quickly starts scanning the area, and her eyes are glowing kind of bright blue, like like headlights.
Oh. Like
Like
pointing at us.
like all over. She's not really looking at you
Oh, okay.
specifically, but she is kind of like just scanning the area. She's kind of like okay, hold on. Let me find a picture of her and then we'll move from there. So she's wearing like this very cool like dress and like cape combo with like a armor kind of like setup.
Icon.
Mhm.
Her eyes are kind of like flaring kind of this bright cerulean blue like light, like headlights, and it's kind of like causing this eerie light across the entirety of the grounds. And she would basically be kind of like lower to the ground, like almost kind of kneeling inside of her dress, which is kind of like pushing out, and then she's kind of got her hands off to the side, kind of maneuvering her fingers as she's controlling some sort of divination spell.
Hmm.
Ooh.
The bird would look over to you and just very casually say, "It's fine. She will be able to find him without issue. Return back to the castle." And again, this is just a big bird who was probably screeching moments ago. Just turns to you,
Yeah.
very casually looks at you, and says the words I just said. He then also says, "I'm the biggest bird. I'm the biggest bird."
Aw, cute.
Ronnie will look at
Remains there, yeah.
her and then and then Termaine. So be like, I guess she has it handled.
I mean, would I understand, or would either of us understand the nature of the divination magic that's happening?
No. Yeah,
Not
very
even a clue.
very arcane. Both of you are kind of
Alright.
primal and
Yeah.
divine magic.
Let's join the others. Let's join the others.
But we would know of her skill in.
I would say that it's something that's kind of known. Yeah, her daughter is like supposed to be going to the college up on the summit. So yeah, it's understood that her magic is not taught, but she is friends with like the head mistress of the academy.
Okay, but we know that like she's like a baddie with the spells.
Yes.
Okay. That's what I was kind of going for.
That's what I was basically saying, but I was also trying to like name drop and big time you.
Yeah, no, that is fair.
Yeah.
So
So I believe the current request from the chat is kill the bird. That request is coming from Zach W, who hates birds.
no.
Do you fight the bird? Just want to put it out
No.
there.
Destroy the bird.
Okay.
No, we're going back to the castle.
If the
Wait,
fox-
I have a quick question.
Can we destroy
The bird is helping.
I have a quick question
Okay, go ahead.
about whether or not we're gonna kill this bird. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
Can you say her name?
Her name?
The queen's name, or sorry, the consort's name?
Yeah, Favieth. Balthanier.
Favieth. Okay, got it.
How are you going to say it?
I was gonna say Fabieth.
Either way, I think it's fine.
Well, I mean, it's Fabieth. That's the name.
Yeah. Okay. You return back. There are a couple of knights who are kind of out in the grounds, kind of maneuvering about. They have lanterns that they have brought out and are kind of searching around. And at this point, you would know that you kind of make your way back in. You're not going to go through the window again because it was a bit of a drop. And there's a guy kind of standing in the window. So you take the walk of shame. In the meantime, Maladine kind of throws out his hag touch drop and doesn't really get a response or reaction that he was expecting. And then kind of, fine, so be it. Hope they find it. And we'll walk back to his chair angrily. The drow stays standing, just not wanting to sit next to her again. Arya, Soul, doing anything?
Still watching him.
All right. Yeah, he's sitting.
I think
And
hag touched is a fucking dangerous insult. What about when I called them a fucking child trafficker earlier?
Mason Balthanier's on the Epstein list.
This tracks.
Yeah, it's royalty.
And-
you know,
And in a a world where anti-witch bigotry is the norm, being a witch is somehow worse.
right? Exactly.
So
I don't want to play
Um,
Cyberpunk because it's too close to real life. Makes D&D like real life.
yeah, thank you.
Fair. The
Um,
siblings would return. Arya, before you kind of take your seat, the drow would kind of say, respectfully, it seems that this meal has been a bit tilted and ruined, in my opinion. King Balthanier, I request your permission for me and my attendant to leave. Mason Balthanier says, I would not hold you against your will if you wish to leave. I do regret to inform you, though, that the main course is a delicacy in the Valdeep, something the drow elves might enjoy. It will not hold me. I hope you have a great rest of your evening, but I am too upset by this insult-slinging affair to remain. And he will very...
wait, what's the name of the drow?
He hasn't given it.
Oh, oh man, I was gonna try to persuade him to stay.
You can go ahead, but he and
Can
his
you give me
daddy,
a
yeah, they're
shot?
they're kind of doing a long walk around. So yeah,
Okay.
you certainly can try.
I mean, Arya would kind of chase after and say, I'm, I know that this is a disaster, seeing this kind of insults and seeing your our colleagues, our other people at this dinner admit to heinous things. There is work yet to be done here, and my group, we are known as Fate's Watch. We want to make things just, but it's hard to do it without the support of people in power. Would you consider staying?
So
Just
as
to see it?
you're walking, to set the scene, so you can imagine how this is kind of playing out. You kind of move to him as he kind of gets up from his chair and starts moving, and you kind of move alongside him, and his sidekick is kind of moving ahead of both of you, and you kind of are entreating him as he's walking, and he doesn't stop to hear you. He just kind of continues walking, looking over at you, kind of addressing you in that way, but still making his way to the door. He'd stop
Okay.
at the door with you as like a kind of last bit at the end, and his attendant would kind of move out to this space, draw out a horn, and blow upon it. It lets out a very meek sound. It's not like a very booming horn, just kind of a whoo sound, very, very meek, very simple, very nuanced. The elves in the room kind of like, their ears kind of waver a bit, and you see them kind of adjust. The drow seems to kind of like push his ears back at that point when that sound comes out. And then you kind of finish your statement with, will you consider staying and treating with us? Go ahead and make a persuasion roll.
17.
He kind of looks at you and he says, I wouldn't mind meeting with you at another time. You can call upon me when you wish. And he'll hand you a green stone that has kind of like a strange kind of mushroom-like curvature to it. It almost looks like a little button mushroom that he hands you. And he'll explain, if you press the center and speak your name, it will relay you to me.
I understand. Thank you.
Of course. And by that time, you would see a shadow appear overhead and descend down rapidly, slamming into the courtyard. You would see in front of you a massive purple dragon with a saddle on its back. The drow elf would then move over to it as the pale woman leaps up onto the dragon, and the drow is then kind of lifted through some magical means up onto the saddle, where he seems to put on effectively a seatbelt. The drow rider or the dragon rider doesn't seem to have that, and then the purple dragon lifts off into the sky. And real quick, just so the majesty is not lost on anybody, for those of you who may not know exactly what a purple dragon looks like in the Dungeons and Dragons, because they're kind of not featured very often. They're also known as deep dragons, and in this setting, they are mostly subterranean, hence their affiliations with the drow. Oh yeah, it was Spyro actually. Sorry, I found I had the wrong picture.
Nice.
Purple
Cool.
dragons.
Both look cool.
And yeah, it's a sizable one, probably in the large category. It's as big as like a Clydesdale, like a big ass horse with wings.
That's a big dragon.
Not the biggest dragon.
But it's still big.
The knights would be
That's
returning
decently sized.
at about this point. The knight with the eagle on his head would kind of move away from the window and kind of stand over here instead. He'd also shut the shutters to the window so that it's completely closed. And the shutters aren't like normal shutters, they're kind of like wood carvings with kind of very intricate kind of like floral patterns. And each of the kind of small holes within this kind of patterning is filled with gemstones, which kind of creates this like almost stained glass effect kind of in the room now, specifically around the king. The king would kind of tap his glass loudly, kind of looking to everybody. I do not want the festivities for the evening to end. However, I do respect anyone's wishes if they wish to end the evening early, as our compatriots from the Val Deep wished to do so. If you are not wanting to remain for the main course, please, you may leave now. The guardian for Maladine will kind of move back to the chairs and sit down.
Ronnie sits down in her seat, just kind of like looking at the table, kind of upset with herself.
I'd say timing wise, you're probably arriving back just as the dragon's leaving, so you would see it from outside and then kind of step in and kind of move in after that point, passing by Arya and kind of bringing her back along if you want to.
Sure.
Or if she wants to, I guess would be the more accurate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Arya is, allows herself. Arya is like, gets the stone, and she's kind of like shell shocked that, she had the courage to like ask for support and was like, no, just give me a call later. And then is, kind of gladly led by her people.
All right. The king would say, we have pressing business as well that we can discuss before. Obviously, the matter of Einkarat is not solved, despite your clemency, Lord Maladine. I would very much like for the matter to be resolved before we conclude here. Although I understand after spending several weeks with you all, discussing the matter. That is highly unlikely. But I would like for this dinner to serve as a notice of expiration of my desire to continue in this matter. I do not wish to continue to host you here to squabble. I feel that you, as your own companies, would be very interested in handling the matter in your own ways, and I have no desire to be involved in it any further. What say you, Council Lords of Cardend? Do we want to make sure that the elves work together to coordinate an effort in solving the matter of Einkarad, or do we wish to wash our hands of it and leave it to them? You would see Jorkin kind of, well, I would say that the matter is theirs to solve, and I think that if any of us were to pick sides, we would have to make sure that that is clear and noted to the rest of the other council members. It would be unfortunate for us to not know who we are perhaps opposing in this little squabble in the Feywild. The statement therein kind of has Rasan kind of look right at him, like to his left, and say, "You wish for the elves to fight in a world that literally mirrors our own? Foolish. I do not think it a good idea, and I would hope that the king would be able to bring peace to them, even by mandate. Even though the Feywild exists on the other side of the veil, it still exists here. And by the rules of mortality, you have right and title over that town as well, if no leader has been set by their own people." Sneeb would say, I'm new, so I don't know, yeah, well, it could go either way, I think. Yeah, well, just kind of looking there, and everyone's like looking at him, and like some of them look like they're absolutely fascinated with him, and to the people who are not like enamored by him for whatever reason, it just seems like he's mumbling. Despite that, Soul, you look around at the people, especially those that are close to him, and they seem to be just fascinated with every word he's saying. Like, they look almost dreamy, and they're kind of looking at Sneeb.
True.
While everybody is focusing on Sneeb, Soul would lean closer to Balgar. I don't know that I have much of a voice here, but if you trust me and my family, he can't let that area be in the hands of Maladun.
Well, all right. Yes, I do wish to make sure that you... Well, this whole situation is just... he'll say, good King Balthanir, I have a request. Rasan speaks true. You do have right and title over that jurisdiction. However, I don't think that the matter is so easily solved just by decree. I think it's most important that we maintain the position of leadership in that area with dignity, and the council should have an understanding of what is happening therein. Perhaps each of us can sanction one of these elves, and they can rule by council as we do, reporting to you directly, instead of whatever matter of land grabbing they have going on at current. Jimmy didn't like it. He's not a fan of that solution. Oh my god, he's so
You got that mad face.
baby.
Yeah.
God, look at
Yeah.
that soupy baby. There's so much soup in that belly.
I believe my
He's
wife,
like a little grub.
My wife,
Yeah.
my wife said he looked like. What did she say he looked like? I don't remember. It was something funny. I can't remember it. I can't. I just get something.
It's
soup.
He looks like a cheesecake,
Cheesecake.
He
like
is-
Japanese cheesecake.
He's a creamy, but he's also screamy.
Creamy and screamy.
Yep. So that's the offer that Balgar puts forward. Is that one like when he sits back down that you kind of nod your head in approval, or is it kind of like a
Eh,
the statement immediately gets a nod of approval from Sophia, and it would also get a nod of approval from Pranya. The other lords in the grouping, Rabdos and Kriston, Percosi, ones who haven't spoke, remain quiet and don't speak at all.
This is Percosi, right?
Yep. Lord of Delgan,
And he's silent.
he says nothing. So does Rabdos, the guy straight
Big.
across from him.
Okay.
The king kind of... I cannot be in two places at once, nor would I expect anybody in my family to enter into Ainkarad and aid the council as mediator, especially in such troubled times as these. People literally fighting over territory. Seth, you've served me nobly for the better part of 2 decades. I would very much like it if you were to act as regent of Ainkarad for the time being. I will have you and whatever knights and soldiery you can muster make your way into Ainkarad to secure it. Specifically, the great tree in the center and the town therein. Seth nods his
That's
head.
Seth, right?
Yep, Seth nods his head and kind of like places his hand on his chest. I will serve dutifully. So it's settled. The matter seems to be something that can be handled more deftly than it seems that it's been allowed to fester for the time being. I know that there is good right and title that has been afforded us by the enclave to the north. I know that it is simply a matter of discourse, the efforts for you to undermine that information, those documentations that show these elves to be the ones that should have right and rule. I understand that the Drow have claimancy as well. The Foul Deep runs underneath the Feywild. And I understand it that the other elves of season also wish for claimancy. The Summer Elves. And when he says Summer Elves, he gestures to the redhead. And he says, and of course the Spring Elves. He gestures to the blondes, the one with the mirror veil and the half elf. So, other than that, let us continue to celebrate, and the food would come out at about the same time as a celebration of Steve and his inclusion into the Council of Lords. Rasan would kind of lean over, like past Percosi, and say, "You spoke eloquently. You definitely helped us solve this issue, Lord Sneeb." And Percosi's like, "Very honorable. I knew you'd be a great inclusion into our number." And he's like, yeah, of course. But so, as everybody close to him is kind of like looking at him like, you're kind of like, what? Because he sounds like, it sounds like he's like, it genuinely sounds like he's lying. Like, I don't know how to describe it other than like, I've been doing the voice pretty good, I think. But that's the vibe you're getting.
literally honeyed words. Okay, I understand.
Wait, it sounds like Precoci's lying, or like
No,
Steve
Sneeb.
is lying?
Sneeb.
Oh,
Sneeb just sounds false.
happy to be here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Happy to be here.
He's kind of like, yeah, like the word that he's kind of blathering out and like his like effectuation and like his presence to Soul seems off, especially the reaction that he's getting from everybody else.
Right.
yeah.
And
I mean, you know,
I would say Arya, like if you're paying attention to Sneeb while he's talking, he seems very charismatic and he seems very like connected. It seems like whatever he's saying, like it doesn't strike odd the way he's saying anything. It just seems like
well, I want to say
Sorry.
this. I actually don't think I'm paying too much attention to Sneeb. Wait, Sneeb?
Sneeb.
I'm paying more attention to Precoci, right? Who has like
Yeah,
a connection to where my people are at. And so if Precoci is talking to Sneeb, then I'm paying attention to Sneeb.
yeah.
And so the interaction between them seems odd.
Percosi, no, not to you. Percosi seems kind of enamored with him,
nothing.
and when you kind of look at him and kind of listen to the conversation, whatever about it just seems very kind of enamoring. Like it's just Sneeb seems very awesome. Go ahead and make a will or wisdom save. I almost said willpower save. Man, that's classic. Wisdom save for me.
Wisdom.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, I'm
DC,
seeing him like my cousin Vinny.
DC 21. My
Oh, I loved it.
can't reverse the numbers. Okay, perfect. Oh, that would be a cool mechanic.
Reverse the numbers.
Yeah,
I'm gonna write that down.
some kind of fate thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Add it in. Add it in. Add it in.
No,
Right now.
not right now.
Face watch.
In like a D10 system, that could be interesting. Like where you roll a percentile.
Mm.
Anyway,
All right now.
not right now. So you kind of perceive him as like this very charismatic, very kind of like adorable, kind of whatever.
He's so cool. I love him.
Exactly. Correct.
Oh man, he's such a good business person.
Yeah. And so the more you kind of just see everybody, even now Arya, everybody's kind of like paying attention to Sneeb, there's just something weird going on here for you. The elves, you sit back down. Your mother said you didn't get eyes on him at all.
Your mother.
No.
Ronnie will like look at the table and just kind of like pick at the end of like a fork or whatever and just be like, no, there's a lot of squirrel tracks around here.
The food would be being served out at this point, and like I said, it is a delicacy of the Underdark. It appears that the offerings that are on the table, three kind of main courses. The first is a kind of slow roasted, massive cap, which is basically a big mushroom, and it's been kind of cut into kind of steaks. It appears to be very highly seasoned. It looks like the seasons in question are mostly kind of a Parnak kind of seasoning. So very kind of spicy, very kind of vibrant, and almost kind of fruity. Then the next offering is grilled hook horror in the shell. It looks as though the shell has been kind of broken and cleft into what effectively look like rounds or almost like sushi rolls with the meat inside and the bones still inside. Again, you're not familiar on how to eat it, but it does look like a nice succulent amount of kind of like reddish meat inside of what appears to be kind of a carapace on the outside with a bone in the middle. And then last, but certainly not least, is a tossed salad of moss and kind of it's almost like an arugula kind of vegetation that's almost got a bit more of like a fern-like consistency. And so the salad is very kind of deep green, and then throughout it you can see kind of purple of onions and carrots and other vegetables, like root vegetables, are kind of inside of the salad.
We're gonna have an unending spiral cookbook.
Maybe one day.
He was really trying to sway the drow apparently with this.
Well, when you say that, Balgar says, "Well, he has me also." He says as he kind of just mouths a fork full of horror into his face. You can see that Sophia has taken the salad as like her primary. That's Sophia's the halfling of the north. She's taken the salad and is very pleasantly kind of going over it. But you see her reach into like almost like a clutch or a purse and pull out what appears to be a small glass tincture bottle and like pour stuff on the salad and then put that back in her bag.
Perhaps next time we can bring some of those apple fritters.
Oh yes, you're friends with Ronnie. Of course, I forgot. That would be great as a dessert. And then she kind of looks over to you. Do you look like you're into the food, or are you kind of revulsed by it a bit? I saw Andy's face kind of do one of those when I was talking about it. But would you be in that same picture, or did anything sound appetizing?
I think that would have been the expression that crossed their face, but seeing like Balgar dive into the hook horror, I think I would tentatively try to.
Okay. Yeah, so if you're going for the hook horror, it is definitely what I'm going to say is going to be an acquired taste. Are you familiar with like aged steaks? They kind of have like a more blue cheese or kind of like Roquefort kind of flavor. Mm-hmm. That's what the hook horror tastes like. So does Soul like that, or does Soul not like that?
Not.
Okay, so like as you kind of take a bite and kind of face and like don't throw it up or anything, you'd see Sophia kind of like tap Balgar, and then Balgar kind of look at you and say, the lady's asking if you want something to help the meal.
Yes.
She pulls out the bottle after getting the affirmation from Balgar, who then passes it to you. It's a small bottle. It looks like it's kind of filled with this weird bluish kind of like sand-like substance that's kind of strangely turns to liquid when you move it. If you take that and pour it onto the food and then hand it back, it doesn't even look like a lot was expended from it, but you poured a lot onto the food. Balgar kind of says, "Do you mind?" And she's like, "Oh, of course, go ahead. It looked like you were enjoying it. I didn't think you'd need it." Always go for allspice. Starts throwing it on there and hands it back to her. You then dive into the meal again, and then I want you to explain to me what the perfect steak would be for Soul.
A nice medium, not too bloody. Earthy spices. Nice
kind of like
sear.
A peppercorn.
Yeah,
a good sear flavor to it. That's exactly what it tastes like now. Strangely, is perfect for you.
God bless you.
Damn, iconic.
Sophia will kind of give you a nod. The other side of the space, it seems that the redhead and the dickhead are currently having a bit of an argument. Obviously, you speak Elvish, but your mother's kind of like very annoyedly arms crossed, occasionally reaching down and grabbing her fork and like lancing at her salad to like put it into her face, just watching them squabble. To Termaine, you're just kind of like not sure how to like engage. And from what they're talking about, it sounds like they're very kind of adamant about who has rights and passage into the what they're saying is the plains to the west. And let me kind of translate that to you a little bit here in a narrative sense. So to the west of Cardend, on the western side of Cardend, is Ossier Field. It's kind of this massive, lush, open-ended field that kind of goes quite a while until it hits coast, right? Or riverway. It sounds like the summer elves are explaining to Maladine that they have an enclave there, and they also have means of making passage into the western side, to the western tree of Einkarad. And from what Maladine is saying is they have no right, and if they do so, they will track Blight all along with them into the central town. Don't do it. And the redhead is saying, we are going to do it. When we set up in council, I will make sure that we have rights to survey the area and ensure that we have no issue. Dragging Blight. The Blight's been dead for years. It was handled by the Divine Swords Lady.
It sounds cool.
On the other side of that, though, Ronnie, the blonde-haired woman, says, so, I'm not terribly sure I understand your place or purpose here. You weren't in the negotiations and conversations prior to this evening and terminus of those talks. You are...
I'm Ronnie Sill. My mother is. She'll point to her, and we're Lord Sworn, Lord. God damn
Oh.
it.
Sanctioned.
Sanctioned.
So you will not be seated upon the council?
No,
Oh, good.
I don't believe so.
Oh, good.
Oh my god! What the fuck?
I was
I
worried.
I wouldn't want to.
I thought I understood you to be related to the Northerners, and I just wouldn't want them to have more voices on the council than I do. It would be highly unfair, I think. But a Lordsworn, how quaint. And as she's saying this is all through kind of like a jingling kind of mask. The half-elf would kind of lean forward to Arya and in kind of perfect orc say, sorry about my lady here. She can be very unforgiving when it comes to etiquette and such things.
No, that's okay. I think we might be taking the.
That was an orc.
Oh.
Do you speak orc?
Do I?
Yeah, because she
Yeah.
was speaking to Arya more directly. but you-
I just realized. Sorry.
It's okay.
It's okay.
If you understood, you
I
understood.
do actually.
Yeah, if you
Oh,
understood,
cool. Okay, carry on.
You said sorry back in orc to her.
Yeah.
Okay, so like right where you cut off, just to kind of give it a nice segue, in Elvish, the blonde-haired woman turns to her compatriot and says, "What are you talking about?" And it kind of like cuts off your two's dialogue, and she shakes her head and says, "Nothing." And she says it in Elvish, but she also uses kind of like this strange inflection, so it's like also the same word for orc, like nothing. Like it's a very strange kind of delineation between the two, as they're both based on kind of a similar, well, orc more giant script, but still Rolonic. It's pretty close to forest orc language.
Sure. With an inflection where it's like clockable and orcish.
Yeah, I guess the best way to say it would be like nothing is a word that means something in English, right? But like maybe I can't think of. I don't have a good analogy. Like there's like a word in there that also means nothing, but is like root in a similar like Latin.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Say nada.
Yeah, nada. Like so, nothing or not a thing. You know, something like that.
Yeah.
I'm bad at languages. I'm no Tolkien.
Except it's like lampe.
Yeah, because Elvish, and like there's like chimes in the background for no reason, and oh god, I've got to watch that Brennan Lee Mulligan bit again regarding El.
Wait, what do you mean?
Sesater Aria, welcome. Like where it's like over the top Elvish.
Yes.
And then like they say a word, it's like, what is this word that you said? Just like a random, just generic word.
Right.
then he would say it like over the top Elvish, and
Right.
oh, you know what the word you just said it a minute ago. Anyway, so the veil wearer, after being told nothing, kind of like gets back to her food, and she seems to have the veil kind of forward a bit and is kind of eating up underneath it. And you can see that her eyes have kind of narrowed now, and she seems to be a bit upset. Do you wish to continue engaging with her compatriot, or?
Well, Arya, I think, would, kind of speak in common and say, it's, I don't know what you mean by the Northerners. What do you mean? Who are the Northerners?
Oh, apologies. You aren't familiar with your. I guess you aren't. You're both Lord Sworn, so you're not sworn to her. I understand more of the situation. The Northerners. Her mother is a part of an enclave that resides north of here. They live in an enclave up in the Kovenor and woods therein to the north. I personally come from the wastes to the west and have made my way through ancient city across bay and river to arrive at the Osier Fields, where we were allowed passage by gestures to the red-headed lady, Lady Megan, and we made our way up into the hills of Balthanir, or the mountain of Balthanir. We have yet to be included in the Academy's campus, but it is our hope that soon the King's Word with the headmistress will allow us access to their libraries and their apartments for rest.
I'm dazzled by your I mean, to me it seems like courage and your resilience to move across the continent this way. I'm just, a humble acolyte and a servant of our Lord. I'm very grateful to be here among you all and to learn
Well,
and to serve.
I appreciate your company. I am just very happy to hear that you and yours are not weighting the scales in the favor of this other enclave.
Not at all.
Nothing against you, of course, Lady Ronnie. If it's all right, I call you that. Do you prefer
Well,
Ronisil?
Ronnie's fine. You don't have to say the lady part.
Of course.
Ooh, Lady Ronnie. Arya kind of like whispers and like
Gonna start
nudges.
cursing at you too. God.
And then the whole game is
I
just
don't
cursing.
have that. I don't have that title. She'll kind of
Lady
like.
Ronnie, Lady Ronnie.
Um,
Ain't nobody calling Arya lady. You know what I mean?
right. So, just as a quick designation, humans use Lord and Lady as a title or descriptor. That's not something that's used in Elvish culture. It's more as like a delineation between a woman or a man. So they will call they would call Termaine Lord, where here they wouldn't call Termaine Lord. They would call him Sir because he's a knight.
So just to be clear, in
Ronnie
Elvish
still doesn't like
culture, lady or lord just means
Yeah.
sir or madam or
Right, because there's
whatever.
there's no person who runs an enclave.
Mm,
There are just
Okay.
people who are kind of elected to do functions. So,
Yeah.
a couple of quick examples. Oldest example I can think of that's most relevant that someone will know here is in the Shadow of Fire. There was lords who kind of ruled over towns for the Elvish societies. when they had town setups that had non-elves amongst them. But in their rulership, in the actual enclave portion of that elvish society, they had no leader. When a fight came out to be kind of coming between them and another one of the islands in the Dragon Isles, they elected a war master, or mistress more specifically, and then she was kind of given and afforded all of these rights and titles as kind of like the leader of this thing that we're doing, fighting. So in Elvish society, like, we're going to give you a title that actually has a job description underneath it. Lord and Lady are just kind of like throwaway words. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. And then in Orcish culture, Lord and Lady probably, or particularly in the Omen Vigil, it's not something that we would use at all.
You would actually use the common words Lord and Lady. There's no Orcish word for Lord or Lady. Now, there are words that mean Lord and would be translated from the Orcish language to the word Lord, but those will typically be caveated by something before them, like Warlord or like Landlord. Like, these are things that are kind of like descriptors.
Yikes.
Again, landlord meaning something very different than what we understand landlord to mean. But now I just thought of a really cool idea for a series of games where I run as an Orcish like landlord, and he's got like a goblin superintendent.
Cute.
And the whole game is you guys just trying to not pay rent.
Oh no.
Alright, the game is that now.
I'm okay with that.
No.
Okay, so, but particularly for the Omen Vigil, who are maybe like a little bit more egalitarian,
Yeah.
like Lord and Lady, it's kind of like, ooh, Lord and Lady.
You're definitely making the canon for them, and yeah, I think her response to land or like ladies and lords is kind of like a making fun of it because it's pointless to you.
Cool. I like that.
Termaine.
Ronnie would think
Okay.
that it's very like formal though.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
So she's kind of like, I don't like it.
and kind of putting us into a more of like a understanding of Elvish society. I mentioned that she's a spring elf. Spring
Yeah,
elves
yeah.
are very kind of bougie.
Formal. Yeah.
They're,
She's like, I like the woods.
they're like magical types, more often than not. So, yeah, she seems to be happy that you aren't going to get a vote in the council. And she goes back to kind of eating her mushroom. What did Ronnie get for food? Main course. Again, you can take multiple items, but
She'd probably get the salad.
okay. What about Termaine?
Mushroom and salad.
Cool. Yeah, the mushroom definitely has a kind of meaty flavor to it. It tastes like a kind of like a jerk steak, but mushroom. And then yeah, the salad is just kind of a mess of greens. There's a lemon. There's like a citrusy flavor to it, but you don't know where it's coming from, like what it is. But something is citrusy about it.
The moss got sprayed with lemon at some point.
So yeah, you're not terribly familiar with the moss, and as you're kind of like, ingesting it, it does seem that that's the case. But like, it's definitely a moss you've never encountered before.
Yeah.
And it tastes like somewhere between like a lemon and a grapefruit.
Termaine would pile the salad
been
on
too
top
long
of
since
the
I've had a
mushroom steak and
grapefruit.
eat them all together.
Very good. Bring a big bite of mushroom with salad on top. Hell yeah. What did Soul...
Arya's eating the
Soul
weird
got the...
creature. Sorry.
Yeah, Soul got the hook core. Again, I don't know. I think it depends on Arya's taste, but I think I've been with you when you had an aged steak. I can't recall. But like an aged steak with kind of like a very Roquefort flavor is what the hook horror tastes like.
Look, Sipakli has their own tastes,
Yes.
but Arya had to live probably on like humanoid flesh for years, and bullfrogs and catfish and, like, I don't know, whatever grows underneath a bog. And so she's not picky. So she'll probably have a little bit of everything.
I would say that, like, for an unrefined palate, it is good. It's really good. Like, it's very tasty. It tastes like the sarcasm you're throwing at the Lord and Lady. Like, it's like, ooh, ooh,
Well,
fancy
I
food.
I would say that actually her palate is very refined
Okay.
from being exposed to such, like, such rare delicacies
The way
in the
you
last
said
decade.
it, the way you said it, it made it sound like most of the food you've eaten in your life, it was just like, oh well, I'm putting this in my mouth, I guess.
Frozen pizzas.
Yeah.
That's right. In the last
Frozen
decade,
pizza
it's
slander.
like it just floated up in the bog.
Yeah.
I'm eating it, and it's gonna be delicious. And
You meant more like you're eating like the crab brains and they're kind of mustardy and
yeah, I mean that too. Yeah,
like you're
cracked
eating the
open,
whole part of it and you're
Yes.
getting all of those like juicy bits.
snout to tail. Yes.
Yeah.
So-
Rather than just like eating
And-
like
And sometimes the snout,
the leg
yeah,
of a
it's like
crab.
chicken
You're
nugget.
getting
Yeah,
that-
right. We're not just eating chicken nuggets and
Yeah.
like ham, a piece of ham.
We're getting a lot, and we have like a bit more kind of understanding of our tongue palate. So yeah, I would say that this one would probably, for a refined taste like that, then it would definitely be something that, like, it's popping. This is very, very good.
Yes. Aria is luxuriating.
Yes. And again, the round, again, like, depending on where you get it, can be anywhere between like a 6-inch diameter to like a good 9-10 inch diameter round, and they're all about 3 inches thick. And yeah, served very kind of plainly, just kind of center of the plate, boom, right there with the bone in the middle. The bone also has the marrow visible and very much kind of collectible for you with a special fork. So yeah, there's like a lot
Hey.
here.
Stop.
Just smashing on that. Ronnie's like, okay. Sure. Sol, do you have anything that you want to consort with the council about, since you have them at the table here?
Soul will just be trying to ingratiate with as many of them as possible. I think from how the interactions went last week, there are a surprising number, given Soul's time in town, that they actually are known to or friendly with. But
Yeah.
given the way that the wind seemed to be blowing for Alwyn, Soul's being very careful to kind of ingratiate with the ones that they don't know or have a history with.
Well, I'd say that you've got Pranya, like, pretty well respecting you. You've got Balgar as a friend. You've definitely helped him out in a pinch. Sophia, via your connection with Ronnie, is definitely very friendly with you. The ones that we have a acquaintance with, or a connection acquaintance, like somebody in your group is acquainted to them, would be Rasan, who you've met and didn't succeed on doing a job for, and Perkosi, who appears to have connections to Delvin, where Arya is from. The ones you have literally no connections whatsoever with are Sneeb, Rabdos, and Jorkin.
Yeah.
So, is there any of the three that you're not familiar with that you want to kind of talk to or kind of like try and engage with?
I think I will engage a little bit with Sneeb to try and suss out a little bit of whatever weird shit is going on.
Okay. Since you're initiating with him, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw. Okay. So, whatever hangups you had before, whatever thoughts that you were kind of like mustering in your head regarding him, immediately fall away. Like, no matter what I'm about to say here in this next few moments, you are 100% Team Sneeb. It is a charm effect. I just want to make sure that that is clear for
Yeah,
mechanic
yeah,
purposes. And he kind of looks at you and says,
No way.
Hey, yeah, where'd Lord Alwyn go?
He had to urgently speak with some family, but
Oh, cool. Cool. I was wondering, and then he very kind of like strangely, and it seems to kind of not be seen by anybody else besides us, kind of locks in and talks to you directly. And he asks you a favor, which you kind of don't really understand, but you agree to anyway in this moment. And then he kind of nods his head and says, Great! So I'll have my folks out to your keep in a couple of days. And you don't even really think about what you agreed to. You're just pleasantly kind of eating your food, which is all spiced up, as whatever just happened.
great.
So none of us others hear that.
Yeah, so you're kind of paying attention to your mom's situation, and like the conversation at the council is kind of, happening. You hear Sneeb talking, and from this distance, it's like, he just sounds kind of meh. Tremaine, you kind of look over in his direction, and just, he's so boring to you. Like, everybody seems to be very enamored with him, but you're just not getting it. Like, there's just a very huge disconnect, and you think it's more like a lordly thing. Like, maybe they just find him as a novelty, and you're not really focusing on it.
Mm.
Well, that's just another person to add to my kill list, I guess, in this fucking room.
Sneeb dies. Sneeb the bad guy? Fuck him! But yeah, and then I would say that Arya is already enamored with Sneeb, so she's on board, and if she did overhear it, she'd be like, "Oh, cool, we're gonna do a favor for Sneeb," which seems awesome.
Yippee!
Would Ronnie
that.
or I notice Arya or Soul acting strangely? Like it's not that fawning, is it?
No. It very much, again, in a social setting, it just seems like Sneeb is really cool, but you're not really
Mhm.
clicking with him like other people seem to be.
Yeah.
It's like how Soul doesn't like Maladine, but I really like Maladine. So, like, two people are kind of looking at the same guy, but, like, we're having kind of a different reaction to him,
Mhm.
Right.
And I think everybody
Say,
else.
I really like Maladine. What do you
see,
mean?
See,
Who's
there you
I?
go. There you go.
No, I'm asking the question.
Oh, you
Who's
said
I?
you do too? Yeah, me. Yeah, I also like Maladine.
That's perverse.
Face.
Okay. Any other people you want to talk to before we cut the dinner?
No, since apparently that's a terrible choice.
Talking
Yeah.
just the one time. Just the one time. You don't
Okay.
like Steve?
I don't like failing a roll and being blindsided by a favor that I won't know about until it fucks
Sure.
over. That's
So what I will say is as like the dinner progresses, other people start to kind of get
Wait.
up. Go
I'm
ahead.
trying to wait. I want to talk.
Go ahead.
I mean, I want to like crowd
Oh,
Sneeb.
so okay. Etiquette wise, it would be bad for you to get up and move to the other table. I was about to move to a bit more of a open-ended, like standing around talking kind of situation.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
the
then you
formal
can hang out with
the
Steve.
formal dinner is ending. Sorry, I was breaking that. Then you can definitely tackle Sneeb and pet him.
If I can
Pet him.
clock that it would be, like a problem to get up and like heft myself around, then I will sit and wait.
For sure, and yeah, you have a high enough charisma score to kind of like note that nobody else is doing that. So, the king would say, "I apologize for the events of the evening, and I apologize for the way that we are leaving it. I will have Seth Highwind make his way with a company to ensure the security of Einkarad. Maladine, your forces or compatriots that are already on site will not give us problem, correct?" "Of course not, my liege," he would say. Good. With that, they will leave in the morning. If anybody wishes to attend Einkarad and ensure a space therein, you are welcome to it. Anyone in this room is welcome to make space in Einkarad if you wish to be there for the time of its reformation and its defense being renewed for the betterment of not only it, but also Cardend. You are welcome by my invitation. And then he'll get up and he'll make his way to the north. And just heads out. And it looks like the knights that are with him kind of do likewise. Except for Seth.
Ronnie would look to Tremaine and be like, should we go with them since we know?
Since we know what.
Like what's going on there, kind of.
Steve gets up and has a bottle of wine and a goblet, and he kind of moves over to here and sits on the steps. Percosi kind of walks over and like stands near him. You see him kind of reach into his sash and pull out what appears to be a smoking pipe. He lights it and kind of starts chatting with Sneeb about just stuff. Rabdos will kind of get up and move astride and kind of stand near the door, just hanging out very casually. Pranya, Sophia, and Volgar, strangely, the ones that you are fans of, or are fans of you rather, kind of move over to the side and start talking amongst themselves with Casey. Moirax will move to the northern door and kind of keep a space there. Hassan and Jorkin remain at the table talking. Rana Kelpham leaves.
So in response to
ahead.
Ronnie's question, Tremaine is going to quietly say, maybe not just yet. And then he would turn to our mother and ask, and how do you think this went?
Well, poorly. I was hoping that it would go much better than this, but the debacle with the seed and just the complications that have been arising throughout this dialogue. She kind of looks to the side, and you can see Melody kind of looking over at you as you're talking. She gets up, grabs her goblet, and kind of moves away from it, and kind of gestures for you and Ronnie to do likewise as she heads out into the courtyard.
Yeah, let's do that. You okay with that?
Follower. Yeah.
Yeah.
Follower.
Arya, you see Tremaine and Ronnie kind of get up with their mother and kind of move out to the courtyard. Do you follow them?
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about that right now. I want to.
You go for
be
Sneak.
here.
You gotta talk to Sneeb.
It's Sneeb time.
So from your position, you would see that shortly after they leave, the veiled lady and her consort seem to be moving for the door as well. These four, along with the old man who has not been introduced to anybody at the southern side of the table, who took a lead seat, a place of honor, who was not even mentioned once, just remains there talking. They are still arguing about the western fields. You get over to Sneeb, and you'd hear Percosi say, "Well, I never even thought of that. But of course, yes, if you need storage space, that's absolutely more than welcome. I can hold your wares." And Sneeb looks up at Arya. "Oh, hi. You're with Lord Regent Soul, right?"
Yes, we're Fate's Watch.
Well, I hope that they're not horribly put off. They seem to be more than welcoming. I just have a few shipments of honey that I have to store at Hoy Keep. Luckily, they were more than happy to agree.
Well, why wouldn't we? Your honey is critical to the development of our region. It's
Honey
so
is code for
important,
drugs.
and it's such a great product. You know,
Yeah,
I mean, good for the economy, and it's just good.
yeah. He'd say just in response, "Yep."
So, Smeeb, I'm so embarrassed to say this in front of you, but I can tell you're just a trustworthy person, someone that I can be vulnerable in front of. I've been wanting to talk to Percosi, Lord Percosi, for some time. Just briefly, you know. I don't know if this is obvious to you, my lord.
Oh, I recognize you, he says. Hag Eater.
I haven't been a part of the community in a very long time.
I'm a bit long of tooth. It wasn't very long after your incident that I became Lord of Delgan to help deal with the matters that your folk and the other folks who were set to live in that area, the problems that they were undergoing on the northern side, specifically the problems coming from the Cloaked Wood.
I haven't seen my people.
You're welcome.
And... Oh,
Oh,
seems so easy.
of course. I do not have any mandates or control over what goes in and what goes out of the walls of Delgun, other than if you are a threat, you will be dealt with. But I don't believe that's the case. I mean, if you were, you probably wouldn't have been invited to this event.
I guess it's presumptuous of me to wonder if you've, I don't know, heard about whether or not someone like me would be welcome
Well,
by the community.
according to the stories, you devoured a hag's eye and you were absconded with by the remaining hag that wasn't killed in the conflict. The other hag will appear to be very wounded, and you appear to be very wounded as well. That is what I recall, according to the Elvish, and he'll say an Orcish word, which means prick, but very kind of like the Elvish prick. Over there, it seems that you are hag-touched. I don't know what that means, if that's terminology that has connotation or baggage, but I don't care what maladies you've suffered, so long as they don't cause problems for the people of Delgan. If they do, I'll deal with them. But I don't see any malice in your eyes for your desire to enter that place.
Okay.
Great! Sneeb would say.
Arya would actually look at Sneeb with gratitude, like he's the one that like made this work.
Made it happen. He would say, well, I think that maybe a celebration could be had. I could send some honey mead up that way to Delgun to greet your arrival. Perkos would go, oh, that would be splendid. And then there's this moment where everything kind of just goes tunnel vision on him, and it's just Sneeb talking. And then Perkosi would say, that'd be great. And you realize that you and he just agreed to something. But again, it doesn't feel wrong. It just feels like you didn't really have any agency in the choice. But
Right.
After a fashion, you realize you agreed to crates of honey mead being stored with the crates of honey in Delgun at Lord Perkosi's kind of established barracks.
That sounds
Not for drinking, just for storage.
Yeah, that sounds legitimate and good.
I kind of want to pop above table, like, just so we don't have any misunderstanding what's happening here. He appears to have some sort of powerful magic or magical item that's allowing him to kind of control people, and he's using it because he doesn't want to pay people for storage to hold his things.
To hold his
Yep.
drugs.
I would like to just repeat what I said. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds good and decent and the right thing to do.
It's
Gotta
like,
use the tools you got.
he's so adorable, he doesn't even need the cloak, but it's funnier still when
I love
everybody
him.
realizes they're betrayed.
I love him that he's kind of evil and really adorable. You know, it's kind of giving Cult of the Lamb a little bit.
Yeah, he's great. But again, it'll be even funnier when connections are made as to
When we
why
wake the fuck up.
why he's
Or-
that way. But yeah, it's good
Okay.
fun. outside, you step out with your mother, and she would say, I don't have much in means of defense. I did not bring a charge with me. I will be entering into this council situation very much open to ill effect. What happened to Lord Alwyn?
He has gone to visit his family in Heiserich
For what purpose?
to possibly get help.
With this situation or something else that I'm not aware of?
It was with this situation, I believe.
I could reach out to the lords, but I don't have many friends in that space. I know that Megan and I have a bit of a connection. She is not a fan of Meladine either. However, the other two individuals that have come to treat, they are not as swayed. And as you're talking, the sound of the veil clinking behind you can be heard, and you'd see her and her charge kind of stepping out, and she would say, "Apologies, Lady Ronnie, Lord Tremaine. May I speak with you again?"
Oh, yeah, sure.
Oh, apologies. I didn't realize you were talking to... Because Tremaine was standing in the way, and Tremaine's taller than your mother. So, like, when Tremaine kind of turns, there's just, like, a whole-ass person there. She'd go, "Oh, apologies. I'm not interrupting. I can talk with you later, of course."
I would look to our mother. Does she give any kind of facial cues?
She has, like, a quizzical look, but it's kind of more of, like, a, Make an insight roll, the both of you.
Oh, okie dokie. 12. 10.
Yeah, so, Ronnie, you're not... You think your mom's angry.
Yeah.
But, Tremaine, the look you realize isn't anger. It's kind of more of, like, almost like a vulture waiting for something to die. She's, like, wanting the conversation to continue to see if there's any benefit from it.
Right.
She sees this as an opportune moment. She's not trying to engage. So she's kind of backing away, but staying close.
I understand. So, yeah, sure. What's on your mind?
Oh, well, I had an inquiry regarding something that I thought you might be able to help me with. You see, the situation here is that I don't really have anywhere for me and my compatriot to remain. We were afforded some form of respite here at the castle, but unfortunately, I don't think that will be afforded to me, since now my expectation is to return to Einkarad. And, well, I don't know if me and mine are ready to go that way. Is there anyone in town, perhaps one of the lords that you might be affiliated with, who might have a possible roof for us to stay underneath?
He would glance at Ronnie and say, "It is possible. I will inquire."
Amiria would kind of push your shoulder and say, "I hope you're not forgetting that I have a similar problem." Your mom.
Yeah.
Oh, if
I mean, we
a
can
space.
ask around.
Oh, of course, yes, that would be most appreciated. I don't have many friends present here. Perhaps you could introduce me to some that you might know.
Yeah. I wonder.
Sure.
I wonder if Sophia would have a space.
Scene
I'm
cuts
I mean,
to
good at
Sophia.
There is a rate. There's an inn in Cardin, right?
And you see her and her compatriot kind of look at each other. Yes, of course, that could work. And the scene kind of cuts from there. We're gonna go to Sophia. It looks like, Soul, you moved over to the Cool Kid Squad.
I am heading over there. I do still want to speak to Rasan once he breaks away, so I will be mildly distracted while hanging out with the Cool Kids Club.
Okay. The mayor of town would say to Sophia, I assume that the meal was great. I hope that you enjoyed it." And Sophia says, "Oh, it was fine, I suppose. It's too bad the conglomerate couldn't have built you with taste buds and a sense of taste at all." Casey kind of shrugged, kind of pulls their scarf. "I have a sense of taste, not so much in the at eating sense." Pranya kind of shakes his head and laughs. "Sol, hello, welcome. I hope the stresses of polite dinner weren't too much for you and yours."
The dinner itself, not so much. Some of the company, perhaps.
And Sophia says, "And the food," and then kind of like just slaps your hip, and then like reaches into her bag and holds the remaining contents of the allspice. "Here, keep it on me."
Oh, thank you. I'm not sure if I will be Lord Regent for long, but if all the dinners here like this, this might come in handy.
You kind of pocket the allspice, and Balgar kind of looks at you like, "Whoa," like kind of situation. "You just handing those out to Sophia?" We used most of it, just a little bit, maybe a meal or two's worth. 1 dose is left of their allspice, and she kind of looks to you and says, "What do you think of this whole situation? It was said that you had gone to Ain Karad recently. How do you feel about these elves and their squabbling?"
My family has a history there, despite obviously I'm no elf, but my graver concern is the group that is in that center tree.
"Oh, right. Blathild, your grandmother? Interesting. One of my great grandparents, grandmother, I think, was a member of the agitators."
Yes, my great-grandmother Balthild and my grandmother Castia were both had some involvement with Ain Karad, but the current situation, the group at the center tree that our friend Maladine seems to be associated with, we above the table, how am I aware that these people, having probably been around Cardin for a while, know of my history and
Yeah.
incident?
So Pranya knows because works with your parents. Sophia
Yeah.
knows because she's kind of like very much the gossip of the town. If it's known in the town, she probably knows it. Balgar knows because it's Balgar. Like when he learned you're related to, he kind of situation. And then Casey would probably be the least informed because Casey don't give a fuck. And I think had an
And my dad's probably not chattering about it all the time when.
Yeah, and I think he had an
Busy.
intelligence score of 7. So
Yeah. Well, the taste has to come from somewhere, so we had to sacrifice some of those points.
right.
But I don't. It's probably due to me not knowing how to really present these things in such company, but I don't think that most of the lords understand that when I was talking about the death cult, I'm talking about the cult that kidnapped me and kidnapped another pair of children just weeks ago.
Oh, I
That
think
is who's in the center tree.
Casey would say, "Oh, I think they understand. I just don't think they care." You see, the problem with the lords is they're very much focused on what they are able to do, and unfortunately, the restrictions of the lords kind of make it a situation where they don't really have much in the way of power. If you wanted to sway any of that, if you wanted to break the shackles on these fine folk, the best person you would want to talk to is Tefris.
Who is absent. I can't help but notice.
Oh, Sophia would say, "Yes, Tefris is a hard one to get a meeting with." but now that you're Lord Regent, you could definitely put in a request for it. Just make your way down to the Hellgate, and I'm sure you can discuss it with any number of his bureaucrats.
Yes, bureaucrats, so lovely. I suppose I will be getting more acquainted with them for however long I am serving as regent.
Maybe. Balgar would shake his head. Probably not. They don't really care about us in Lordship unless they're asking us a specific request, like tonight, or in voting for certain things. The formation of Delgun several decades ago. What was that matter regarding the aquifer? He kind of looks at Pranya, shrugs. It had little to do with Tarn Keep, so I didn't really vote on my own accord. I just did what you were requesting. Balgar nods. Well, thankful. The situation is, as it stands, we're little more than an addendum to the bureaucracy ourselves. Defers has things neatly and finely compacted, but having the sway of the lords is a smart move. It seems that you had a good rapport with Sneeb there, new lord. Definitely someone you could do a favor for. It sounded like you were storing some things for him. Very generous of you to offer that right off.
I mean, I hardly know how many rooms are in the keep. How else should I?
Yeah,
take advantage of the space?
towers and whatnot. I was there when Lykoi Keep was built. It's a nice little fortification.
I personally, despite knowing some family of people involved in the dispute, I'm less concerned about the territory and more concerned about the cult fomenting there.
Pranya would look to you and say, "It sounds like you might be interested in perhaps attaining the services of a Justicar. I can put a request in for one. It might be some time before they arrive, but a full-on Magister and Servant of the Magier to operate in a more authoritative manner might benefit you."
It might, because the numbers were substantial. They seem to be setting up some kind of fortification in the tree. We dealt with one detachment, and that was nearly too much for the four of us.
There is also the option, if you have one among your number who is competent in spellcasting and already has license, I can appoint them as a deputy or a justiciar.
I should have gotten licensed.
So technically you would be licensed if you operate magically in the town. Licensing is not a hard thing to do. It's like going to the B&B and just being like, I can do magic and I'm not doing wild magic.
Yeah, I think in the background we did mention that because of the sorcerer stuff. And I suppose I am licensed.
Yeah, and Arya would be too, because she served as an acolyte for the Church of Allowain. So it's probably the case that she was, I'm doing magic. And Maluriel's like, well, you better get licensed. And then it was just kind of, it's not this huge to do. It's literally you just go down to town hall and I can do magic. Cool. You swear not to do it bad? Yeah, okay,
Frickin'
cool.
Sokovia Accords.
Right.
Just, here you go.
You just
Don't
add
do
it.
a fireball.
Don't do a fireball in a tavern. Thank you. That is, you know that's illegal. You've been told that's illegal. Don't do bad stuff.
Yes, that might be helpful.
Well, I can definitely make that happen tonight if you wanted to. If you want to make your way back to Tarn Keep with me. If not, any day during the next 6 days should be fine. I'm mostly free. Casey kind of looks up at him. Mostly free, he says down to the little mayor. Balgar says, I don't have much in the way to offer you regarding help, but, well, you've definitely proven yourself to me. If you need aid in defending any location and you send me word, I will send over a force of individuals, perhaps led by a very beautiful shield maiden.
I know of at least one member of the Lord Sworn of Lycoy Keep that would be happy to see her again. But-
Truly, kind of
Yeah.
looks around. Do you mean the young one?
I don't want to spoil the surprise.
Scratches his head. Well, I mean, if you mean it in a intimate nature, she is recently widowed. Of course, you know that. Kind of like moves his mug and splashes a bit of beer to the side. Franya kind of like steps back, immediately casts press on the floor. Like,
Trying to ingratiate themselves more to Balgar, Soul will be in a little closer and be like, "Yeah, well, we were actually involved in making sure she was re-widowed because he was."
oh, no, I haven't told the tale. Re-widowed. It's just not a terminology I thought to make up.
But you've already done me quite the favor by speaking up on my behalf just a little bit ago.
In the awkward moment where you kind of Termaine has kind of agreed to help the spring elf find a place to stay, or kind of pushing her off onto the inn, are you two going to kind of maneuver back into the space to kind of talk to the lords or what have you, or are you going to try and remain out here with your mother to kind of like move away from them and talk?
I would rather stay with Mom.
And Ron,
Yeah, I actually have questions for her. So
Okay. You kind of pull away from her after that kind of weird, awkward discourse. Those two look like they're heading out and leaving.
Hmm.
All right. You pull her aside, and so I'm okay to stay at Lycoy Keep. I know me and Alden didn't have the best of rapport, but since he's gone,
Of course.
good.
yeah, there's room. We did have Slayer staying with us for a moment, but he seems to have gone back to the Helma.
Mm-hmm.
He may be in some trouble.
Unfortunate. I very much would have liked him to be alongside with me if he's a very competent combatant.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't have much in the way of protection when I enter into Aikarad, and I will have to rectify that issue.
Well, we can see if we can go with you.
I would appreciate that, but I mean no insult by this. But you wouldn't be my first choice. I'm sorry.
That Mom is harsh.
She looks at Termaine, and as much as I'd love to have a Knight of the Rose Sword along with me, I think the complications of your service to the king might lead you to problems in your order in siding with me.
Of course. We defer to your wisdom on this.
If you feel that it is best that you stay with me, son, I won't turn away your guidance or your efforts in defending me. If I can find someone else who is not sworn to the king, I would feel that that would be preferred.
I understand, and honestly, I'd prefer to work together with Ronnie.
I'm not saying she can't come along. I'm just saying she wouldn't be my first pick.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
We've also created
Well-
a family of sorts with those here, and then ventured together, and we feel a responsibility to the protection of Cardin.
Then
Yeah,
maintain
and
your charge.
I feel like it's my fault that we lost Slayer for you, so I have some responsibility there as well.
And you kind of get this vibe from her. She doesn't come out and say it, but like in what she said, you're kind of understanding like the way that Tremaine and you have communicated your adventuring to her has made her more worrisome of you than anybody. So there's kind of like a vibe that she doesn't
Yeah,
think you're good at what you're doing, but she's not going to outright tell you not to do it.
right. I mean, she's not entirely wrong.
Fair. Cutting from there back into Arya, Sneeb, and Percosi. Do you move away from them to talk to anybody else, or
I'm just trying to have like a airtight bond with Percosi. You know,
Yeah.
I want to visit his, his dominion sooner rather than later, and feel like, I'm not going to be,
I would
persona non grata
I would say
when I
with
get
what he
there.
said, he is more than happy to welcome you into the space. Now,
Right, right.
out of character and kind of well above table, I think you are of an understanding that your conversation with the members of your specific family and clan are
Mhm.
going to be a bit more uphill than talking to him.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, at the very least, he's not going to ban me.
Right.
At the very least, he's not going to tell my family that they need to reject me. So
Right.
that's a good thing to know. And I'm going to keep, trying to be charming and sweet and caring to him and to Sneeb. Unless I hear like some kind of alarm from, my people, and it sounds like everybody's chill and okay and
So-
just talking.
There's a vicious disagreement on the southern table, and it kind of takes up a little bit of the air in the room from everybody as that kind of happens.
Mm.
And Maladine and his ward, or his guardian, kind of get up in a angry spat and kind of very quickly move around the table and out. The red-headed elf and her guardian sit there for a bit, but then soon after, and you would see them kind of walking out and kind of heading out to the outer cloister like the other elves did. They would also kind of get up and make their way maybe a few moments after. Do you wish to try to intercept the redhead and her charge, or her guardian, or do you let them go? And this will be starting with Arya, then Sol, and then the siblings. So
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
You would not?
No.
Sol?
Nope, still focusing on my Cool Kids Club and Rasan.
Terrain and Ronnie.
I guess we would, if Mom is finished, should we maybe
would-
escort her back to the keep?
Yeah, it would basically be in the midst of the conversation. So if you want to kind of like, if you don't want to break away to deal with these two, you don't have to. Like, you're not mainly focusing on that specifically for now.
Okay.
Hmm.
Do you want to
And
talk
we
to
know
them
that-
at all or no? These are the two that were the scouting party that you met.
Sure.
Again, do you have anything you want to like? Because they're walking out kind of briskly, but they're making their way out. No?
I guess not.
Okay. I mean, again, if you don't have anything you want to kind of walk up to them with,
That's fine.
It's totally fine. Okay.
Okay.
They leave. And your conversations kind of reconvene inside. But as that's happening, the old man who was sitting at the kind of place of honor gets up, puts on his jacket, his overcoat, and then walks over directly to you, Arya.
Okay.
He smiles and just kind of walks over, and like as the other two are talking, you kind of like pull away from the conversation, still listening to it lightly, but you notice that he kind of walks over, crosses his arms, and is just kind of watching you.
Oh. Hello.
Oh, hi, Sister Arya, right? I think I got that right.
Arya will curtsy.
Ah.
Yes.
He'll kind of give like a light nod. You may call me Cushing.
Cushion.
Cushing.
Cushing.
Right. I'm a bit of a wanderer, a bit of a seeker of oddities, a hunter of monsters, a individual who has interest in all sorts of things, be it eldritch, arcane, maledictory, what have you.
Mm.
And what Maladine said regarding your presence interested me, but I do want to be sure you wouldn't happen to be touched by the local hags, would you?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Oh, sorry. What I mean, of course, is the Hags of Cardent. There were a trio. I can recall that their names were very plain and simple, but their true names much more Fey or Fey-like.
Mm.
They lived in the Cloaked Woods. I believe they attacked a Orcish tribe some time ago.
Well, when I was taken, I really didn't know much about my captors. I wish I could tell you more.
did you know one by the name
That's
of...
that's deception, by the way.
Oh, sure. He doesn't seem to kind of like... It doesn't seem like he's reading you or anything. It just seems like he's kind of moving
Ah.
into the next beat of his conversation, like he came with an idea of what he wanted to say. And he says, You didn't happen to know one named Gristlegut, did you?
I've been greatly injured by a hag named Gristlegut.
So they were the hags that touched you. He kind of nods his head. It doesn't seem like he's like accusational in that statement. It's more just like he just says it as a statement of fact.
Arya looks visibly ill.
He
You
would
know,
say,
it's kind of like asking someone. It's like, oh, well, that's the one who,
he would say,
fucking killed your dog or whatever.
I apologize. Of course, this is very. I wouldn't know how I would react to me if I were you. So I'm having a bit of an issue understanding exactly where you're at. But one second. And you see him, he has a very strangely large signet ring. He pulls back the top of it, pulls out a bit of white powder, and then just starts kind of like flicking it in the air around you.
Coke.
Yeah, he just starts doing coke. It's a party. Fucking let's go, dude. No, he takes out like this strange white powder and starts kind of fluttering it around the air, and it kind of like falls around you too. And that feeling of like nausea you just had seems to change. Like you feel better, and something about your stomach just feels like it's shutting up. It's silent. He closes the thing and kind of looks at you. We should be good. I don't think anyone will be listening in now. And smiles at you kind of very boldly. If you're interested, I know that I am. But if you are connected in the way I presume you to be, I can deal with that for you.
I'm sure you know how tempting it is, like being thirsty after days without drink.
I also understand that I am a stranger who's just walked up to you and has offered you something great and thirst quenching, using your analogy. And sometimes such an offer can seem like some sort of feint or trap. And
It seems frightening after what I've been through.
I understand entirely. Not an issue. What I will do for you instead is I will grant you a boon, and if you wish to take this boon, it may aid you in regards to your problems. Free of charge. No tricks. And if you see that I and what I am offering you is a remedy you'd like to consider, well, you can simply find me. I'm traveling around Cardin for the next 2 or 3 months, making my way around to the different lordships. I have some wares and such that I sell. The king is very gracious in accepting me into this place. I have quite the lineage that coordinates all the way back to Balthanir's formation. However, not terribly important a history lesson now. Here, and he hands you, he hands over to you a small crucifix of Atavius.
We'll take it.
If you keep this on your person, you should have less issues with certain individuals watching in on you. I don't think it will disrupt any other parts of any contracts that might have been formulated, but it should give you a little bit of privacy.
Oh. This certainly builds trust. I
Nod.
We should stay in touch.
Of course. My wagon, it's very hard to miss. If you see it, I am probably in it. If I'm not, just leave a note at the door.
Understood. Wait, can we get your name?
Cushing.
Oh, I'm sorry, Cushing. Got it.
He'll smile. No worries. It's Rupert Van Cushing.
Hmm. Hot.
And real quick, I don't know if I posted his picture up on the board yet, so I will do that. Dinner party. Did he get mysterious noted?
Yeah.
Where him? I don't
thought
think
he
he's on there.
had been. I swore I saw him earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not there.
Weird. Very, very weird. Okay, well, let me see if I can fix that real quick. Hold on. I might not be able to. We shall see.
I believe in you.
I will take your faith and I will fail you.
How dare.
It's my only option, because I apparently don't have... Huh. Wild.
It's okay to fail a little bit sometimes
As a
as a
treat.
treat.
As a treat.
Yeah, that's weird. Huh. The fuck?
How did I see him earlier?
I don't know. Okay, don't beep at me, computer. That's fucking rude.
Oh.
Wild. I'll get a picture of him eventually. on the board. Today's not that day.
Fair.
So
How dare you fail me? I believed in you.
yeah, he'll lead you to your conversations unless you have anything else for him. And then Soul, you were moving over to Sneeb, or were you trying to get to someone else?
Rasan, once
Rasan.
he's done with
Right.
that conversation.
Yeah, so him and
I-
Jorkin are shooting shit for quite a while. Like they seem to be kind of like very focused, and they're laughing and kind of very cordial and friendly individuals. It doesn't seem like they're letting up throughout the entirety of the time here. It's kind of coming to a point where people are starting to leave. Rabdus would leave, and probably Pranya and Casey would leave. Where you start to realize like they might be here and sticking it out because they're still drinking.
At which point, Soul would come over to try to interject.
Okay. I'm just going to use this image here. It's the wrong background, but fuck it. I guess it's more moody and flavorful. Edit, pull, save, show to everyone. He was not holding a crucifix and a hammer with a stake in it, or a hammer and a stake at the time of your conversation.
But he is now.
He was eating
Vincent Price.
very much. It's not Vincent Price. It's actually Peter Cushing.
Oh.
Yeah, Hammer horror films, good times. But
Mhm.
he was eating the hook horror with a hammer and a wooden stake, so that was a bit weird.
Weird or
You know.
hot?
All of the above. Both. He's going to leave. Rabdus is going to leave. Pranya and Casey. Oh, and Morax. Do you walk over to them? They would kind of look up at you. Rasan would say, "Oh, right. Anything regarding the kids?" Jorkin would kind of look to him. The kids. A matter. Actually, Rasan very kind of gets up and kind of goes, yeah, and kind of like gestures for you to follow him over to here. He would grab the decanter and pour himself a drink of the punch, the alcoholic beverage that's kind of on offer there, and say, "So the kids, I haven't had any word back from the. I haven't had any word back from my folks. Are the kids all right?"
Soul will hesitate for a second, realizing this is going to be going a very different direction than they anticipated, because the way that Alan had discussed the stuff with Slayer kind of led Soul to believe that it might be a little more known. So, rapidly reformulating in their head, we did not find your people or the kids. The mall is a very tangled place, and apparently many folks have maps, but Lord Alwyn either never got one or deigned to provide it to us. But I have some more startling news. I have heard that the one known as Slayer may have been in a fight with the Kegs.
The stranger that is breaking the rules or not breaking the rules, the one that's. I don't know much about this Slayer individual other than what's been kind of.
I see you're just as confused as I am about whether they're breaking the rules or not. They showed up on, well, I suppose my doorstep and said that Tefferis had let them in, and that the kegs had accosted him. However, he seems to not be himself. I don't know what he is himself, but he seemed to turn sharp very suddenly.
The individuals I know regarding this individual named Slayer, he helped Lady Siltena come up the mountain, and then he asked the king in quiet for audience with Tefris. Next thing that was heard about him was he was at the Hellgate with a signet denoting that he is a Lord Sworn or Lord Sanctioned of Tefris. Very hard to fake, and based on the paperwork in hand, or just the paper trail at hand, it seems that was all on the level. What did he do when he wasn't himself, or when he was himself but someone that was different than you knew?
He seemed a reasonable individual when I had met him before, but last night he was very aggressive anytime anybody came near his sword, but
This morning.
this morning, but yeah, sorry. He was more aggressive this morning. He was badly injured, but if you haven't heard from your people, based on what he told me, they may be dead on the second level.
Dead. I suppose it wasn't possible for him to bring all four of them up. Situations interesting. They need to be recovered. They need to be recovered immediately.
Yes.
He's like tapping his foot heavily. I can't send any more individuals. I've already sent too many unsanctioned in. I know that you I know that you are now Lord, so you can enter at your pleasure. I'm not terribly fond of the idea of going in myself. I could try to find someone to accompany you who might know a bit of the ways in and about. But I assume that you'll probably be busy with this whole elvish situation, since most of your Lord Sworn are, well, elves.
Yes, it's, this lordship's nonsense is quite complicated, I suppose. Perhaps we could ask one of the other lords for...
I'll be honest, the only one I have any rapport with is Jorgen Barbos, and I believe the Flame Eaters are already inside. I think they're, according to Jorgen, somewhere on the 4th level.
Well, it seems untoward for me to be asking for favors from other lords when I'm just a Lord Regent, and this is my first of what appear to be exciting dinners, but I might be able to...
I will try and pull sway, but if you and yours are free, mayhaps you could go in and recover them for me? I suppose I can't really offer you much. And then he kind of has this, like, light bulb moment. Wait. He just came upon them dead?
No, his telling is they came upon him, and I can't recall if they thought he was responsible for the missing kids or what it was, but they didn't think he was supposed to be there from his telling and tried to subdue him, and he lost himself and apparently killed them.
Cheeseman's temper is legendary.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Darren Cheeseman, one of the kegs, he's a bit of an asshole. I assume that he didn't help to de-escalate the situation.
Slayer doesn't seem like much of a charmer himself either, so I'm sure it was.
I'm sure to their perspective they saw a man wandering around alone inside of the Hellmaw and probably thought him to be some sort of demon. Not an uncommon sight to see in that space. And likely he defended himself. I take your accounting of it. However, I would prefer their words and also their memories. If I could just have them extracted from the dungeon, that would be ideal. I don't know what I could offer you, but I would do my best to make it worth your time. If it's not in the time for you with the elf situation unfolding as it is, I understand entirely.
I do not know how long this Einkrad situation will take, and obviously I know this is urgent. I would have to speak to the rest of the group, but it's challenging for us because we don't have a map of the mall beyond what we've drawn, but I've heard that there are maps being passed about.
Yes, I have a map of the first and second level. I unfortunately have not been able to conscript a third level. That was my hopes and desires, but situations as they're unfolding, a lot has been going on in Marshtown.
Of course.
And
missing children, perhaps
more recent,
more death cult. Oh,
more recent incursions into that matter, more recent events regarding that have proven that it's very likely the case that they are not in the Hellmaw.
Well, your people most likely are at this point, and that is important. I will speak with my group. I will also see if perhaps some of the lords that know me and my family might be able to assist, but if at the very least my group could get a copy of that map, that would aid us either in finding your group or in finding whatever else may be down there at a future point.
I'll have the map sent over tomorrow.
If you'll excuse me, before Balgar leaves, I will at least attempt to see if the Aeltos might be able to assist.
Of course. Balgar will take like if you just ask him if you can help in this situation, he'll kind of put in like a nod and say, "I will see what I can do." And that conversation doesn't need to be really had. There's nothing more effectuating from that. But Balgar will reach out to Rasan and they'll have a conversation regarding it. Arya, was there anything else that you wanted to do with Sneeb, Percosi, or anybody else? I'm assuming you're muted.
I think that's all I've got.
Okay, and then the elves, you were already on your way, taking her back to the keep. So you'll just kind of...
Oh, were we?
That's what it sounded like Andy was planning on doing. Was there something else you wanted to do?
Oh, well, I guess I can ask her questions while we're heading that way.
Oh, yeah, shoot. Sorry. Kind of got lost in the sauce with Andy. Go ahead and give me your questions.
No, you're good. And degrading my character because she's just a baby.
You should just show your mom your sweet climbing skills now.
I should. She worked really hard on him. But while they're walking, Ronnie would just kind of like take a look around and then just to see if there's anyone in the area, and there's probably not. Mom, can I ask you about Slayer?
What do you want to know?
How did they get the name Slayer?
I believe it's passed down amongst the members of his family. He is an author of sorts, and his family has been, over the course of long generations, maintaining and keeping a number of documents regarding adventurer's life. So he has a bit of a reputation as being trained by one of the finest adventurers that's ever lived. Or at
So that's
least
who
has lived.
Slayer, like the original Slayer, was?
The original Slayer. I don't know the tale actually. I just know that
Oh,
they have written they've,
rodent.
they have written a number of tomes and tomes and treatises and the like regarding all sorts of ecology in Urs and ENA specifically. I believe
So
the
that's
most.
why.
Oh, sorry. She says, I believe the most notable is the Slayer's Guide to Goblins.
Slayer's Guide to Goblins. Okay.
Uh, most
Interesting. And
most people hear
the
the name and think it means Guide to Killing Goblins, but no, it's just a study of their people and culture, written by a guy named Slayer.
okay, interesting. And that's the Slayer. She'll like kind of like dig into her bag, and it's like in the closest pocket, and she'll like pull it out and then show her the drawing she did while she's walking. And is this on a lot of those books at all, or?
No, but I've seen that symbol before. It's on his helmet.
And his sword.
I never really looked at his sword.
Oh, that's fair. Well, he might be going down to maybe his death. If the Helma has anything to do with it.
As I mentioned, he's a
Because
very
I
competent adventurer. I feel like if he was in danger, he would be able to elude it.
probably, but the Helma's pretty crazy. Um,
She kind of has like a laugh.
nothing against him.
She kind of has like a laugh, which you feel is condescending, and you realize at that moment she's like, "You died in there, but he's probably not going to." Like that's the vibe you get from her like laugh at you kind of situation here, and it's kind of like it's kind of hurtful.
Yeah. I'm asking these as serious questions. Um, but I'll leave it there. I was just hoping you could help me answer some things.
I don't know much about the book other than, or the books that are written other than the one. It was of great use by the um, council of our enclave when conversations were being had with a group of goblins. Well, sorry, not technically goblins, blues that were in and around those woods that we were talking with and negotiating with. And real quick,
Okay.
Blue is a blue-skinned
Yeah.
goblin that has an innate knack for psionic magic.
Yeah. We've encountered them in other
Yeah.
in the last Friday game.
Yep. They're pretty cool guys.
Yeah.
Gals.
There was a cool guy with a staff. Um And then she'll just kind of close up her book and kind of huff to herself because she fell once.
Mhm.
She got better.
Yeah, your mom doesn't know that, and she obviously doesn't think you're not Tremaine. Is what the vibe you're getting. She's comparing you to him.
Yeah, she's just seeing like a baby.
You are baby.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you break off from that, and Tremaine, you kind of break off from that. You folks kind of head in to Descent. You are offered a room on the outer cloister if you do not wish to make the travel at night. Because remember, you'd be descending the mountain and then making your way across Cardend, out of Cardend's, midtown, and out to those keep in the wilds. So, do you wish to remain at the or at the palace, or do you wish to make your way down immediately and get there as soon as possible? You have horses.
Yeah, Ronnie's
Yeah.
kind of in a mood now, so she's kind of wanting to go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can go back.
And the source of your mood is going with
Go back.
you. Your mom.
Yeah, but
Okay.
she has a door she can shut.
Once you all coordinate together, Tremaine, your mom is with you. That hasn't been explained to Sol and Arya yet.
I would have my horse in the middle so that Ronnie's horse could be on the other side of Mom.
Oh, she's probably like ahead.
Well, I would say
Like-
too, you could probably summon your horse, and also you have the horse you rode up on, which was the
Sure.
yeah. So you can give
Yeah.
her that horse and have your Phantom Steed. Sorry to cut you off there, Elizabeth. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was saying that Ronnie's probably like riding a little bit ahead of them.
Yeah.
So we have our own horses that we have from at the keep, right?
Yeah.
Is that
That
what
you
you're saying?
brought
So
from
I'm
the
riding
keep.
on Skydance.
Mhm.
Sure.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then you can summon your Phantom Steed and ride
Yes,
it,
that's Oralon. Yes.
and then
yes.
give your mom the other one.
Okay.
Does Soul have any words for the elves? It does seem that she's returning. Sorry, I keep yawning. It does seem that she's returning to Lycoy Keep for whatever reason.
I see I'm not the only one that had productive conversations after the dinner.
She would say, "Oh, I'm sorry. Did they not mention that I would require room and board once again?"
Hey, it's no problem. I mean, it's not even really my keep.
Well, you are Lord Regent, so I apologize if it is a burden, an inconvenience. I can try and find room and board elsewhere. I can stay here.
No,
for the
no,
night.
no. Of course not. It's certainly, you will be a much better guest than last night's.
You would see her mood kind of sour at that, and you kind of leap on your horses and ride. She doesn't talk throughout the entire.
I'm gonna make
night.
sure everybody has a bad time.
She does not have. Arya's having a great time.
I got you, Ronnie.
Arya met an older gentleman who was kind of hot. Met Sneeve, which was also fucking cool. Linked up with Percosi so she can get the invite to go talk back to her, talk with her people. Arya is doing great. Everybody else,
Hell yeah.
y'all suck.
I got a map. It's fine.
So quietly riding through the woods, or riding through the town and then out to.
Oh, I'm sure
To
that
grandmother's house we go.
Tremaine would tell stories to Mom about their adventures, trying to put a happy face on them as much as possible.
Sure. And yeah, she doesn't seem terribly interested. She does seem to be kind of dissociating. Like she very much just has a vibe. Like she just seems to kind of be in her own thoughts a lot at this point. But I would say though, is as you're kind of breaching the town, leaving and kind of exiting out into the fields and, you know, outcroppings that are between you and the keep, I'm going to need you to pick a representative for your crew and roll a d20.
I'll do it.
How much gold we get? Let's go.
11.
Great. And then, since you're leading the pack, I'm gonna. And it's nighttime. Obviously, your low light vision is a boon here, but still, it's not perfect. Everything kind of changes in shadow. Give me a survival roll, Ronnie.
That's your
Okay.
thing.
Okay.
19.
Nice.
So what you'll note is that the main road that you normally kind of make your way on and through to kind of get to a point has like a low point where it actually appears to have been washed out by a bit of overflow from the rivers.
Mhm.
But you're very, very deft in kind of like quickly finding a means of kind of traversing over it and avoiding the issue without having to ford the small little bit of water that's kind of, or the bit of water that's kind of caused a bit of a gap between you and where you want to go. So cleanly and not covered in cold water and muck, you're able to kind of make it back to the keep without issue.
Nice.
Upon arrival, Lady Sultana will kind of just move to meditation. She has had it for the day, and she's just gonna go deal with that. Leaving you for.
Fair. Ronnie would sit at the table, kind of grumbling a bit. Slayer's back.
Just wasn't deleted.
I would assume that you will want to accompany your mother into Einkarad tomorrow.
Well, she apparently doesn't need my help, but she definitely needs help.
Well, that
So
sounds quite rude of her.
I agree. I know that I am still young. That's obviously very clear. But I think that we have been able to hold our own in the Helmaw as a group. But it's clear that not everyone would agree.
Yes, well, for what it's worth, your mother wouldn't have the etchings to prove that there's any real claim without you, so perhaps that is something that should have been kept in mind.
I think she is distracted by all of the happenings that have been going on in this whole ordeal. It's clear that she had lost the debates and bargainings of the meeting and only got by with the skin of her teeth with that information and isn't appreciating it as much as at least I would hope. And I
And
don't think anyone quite realizes just how dangerous Einkrad has become.
yes, it seems like, well, other than the handful of lords that I have known previously that many people really care that there is a death cult festering in the center of the Feywild. But that is how it seems to be. But we can only do what we can do. But I agree that it's better for us to head in and try to accompany your mother, whether she wants you there or not, so that we can try to have some sort of impact on whatever's happening. I'm not sure that a council ruling Aincrad's a great solution, but it's certainly a better solution than that awful Maladun taking it over.
If
I'd be
he
pleased if we
does
could all
ha-
go together.
I
Sorry, Liz.
did speak to Rasan about the kegs and whatever might have happened with Slayer, and I think I might have gotten the Aeltos to perhaps recover their bodies, but I also seem to, well, hopefully by tomorrow we'll have a map for us, finally, for those layers. I suspect that Aincrad's still the better choice for our current goal, but just so we know.
No, I agree. I do hope the Aeltos are able to find them, and it wouldn't be a bad idea to explore the Helma again. And I am also curious on what they experienced with their encounter with Slayer. But the Death Cult is currently at the top, and the Death Cult is in Aincrad. And it's also quite possible the going into the Helma in the first place was not where the children were.
Yeah, that
So,
seems to be what Rasan believes now, too. As I know all too well, that death cult does have a penchant for kidnapping children.
it's very unfortunate for all involved. Well, did it sound like they were going to Aincrad tomorrow?
It sounded as if that was when people would begin.
It's probably best to get it over with sooner rather than later. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, we can be ready.
I suppose we should pack warm weather gear.
Yes, that would be smart this time. It was so cold.
So, kind of as the night winds down, it's very late in the evening. I would like everybody to go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw, because again, there was the hike back. Obviously, you're up later than you should be.
Sure.
I am rolling like shit tonight.
Do you have inspiration?
I don't think so. Hold on.
Are there Spackley?
Load.
I don't know if she just
I
there.
do not. Oh wait, I did.
If they are, they're muted.
Is inspiration when you have the red stars?
I have no
Yeah.
idea what. Yeah.
Then I do.
I will
I
say
do
that
because I'm a special boy.
if Sophocles did fall asleep during the game, they fully Jonah'd me. They Joe Rick me.
Oh no.
That's funny shit.
I will save my inspiration. Actually, no, I will use my inspiration. I don't want to be tired as shit.
Okay. Roll again.
So I can re-roll, right?
Yep. Perfect. So everybody is fine.
It was better.
10 is exactly what you needed. So,
Nailed it.
I will say that just as a kind of final beat, and one I'll reiterate with Sapakli at a later point, because I genuinely think they did fall asleep. Soothing tones, I have that effect on folks. The sleep for Arya tonight is undaunted. The second she hits the bed, it's like the best sleep she's ever had. She doesn't feel like she's being watched. She doesn't feel like she's being kind of like haunted, and no weird dreams or visions. Her stomach is seemingly just kind of held at bay as she kind of sleeps alongside the Atavian cross she was gifted by Rupert Van Cushing. And that's where we'll end the session for tonight. Thanks for those that watched, and we'll see you next Friday. I think we're good on next Friday. As we continue in and we move back into Einkrag. See you then.